chair, so get off. I'm an action figure, but I'm not trapped in a box. I'm free.
Tossed in the world as she made a wish to catch me in my Mercedes, bumping ice ice, baby screaming shady till I die. Like I have a paradise, life's crazy, so I live it till the fullest. Till I'm crazy and you only live it once. So I'm thinking about this nice land and wait, don't stop me now, boy. Living life in the fast lane, but at the speed of life and I can't slow down. Only got a gallon in the gas tank, almost at the finish line, so I can't stop now.
This is 2K Sports broadcasting from Phoenix as the Suns take it to the hardwood at U.S. Airways Center. For the Portland Trail Blazers, they come into tonight's game after the loss to the Clippers in Los Angeles. And that was a real body blow for them. They got taken apart both offensively and defensively.
I'm guessing they got quite a post-game speech from their coach because that was a really poor performance.
I would say it might be a little more than a post-game speech. He may have done more than just talk after that one.
The starters for the Portland Trail Blazers. Belton is out there with Crawford. And there's Hickson. And there's Batum. And it's Aldridge in at the 4. And for the Suns, they've got Gortat. Nash out there with Brown. And it's Hill. And it's Morris in at power forward.
You know, guys, you think back to a team like the Suns. They had a terrific shot at winning the championship just a few short seasons ago, and it doesn't seem like they're in real contention right now going forward.
And it's going to be the Trailblazers off the tip. Felton the pass to Crawford. What's up? Here's Brown. He had an 18-point outing in their last game against the Lakers. Down low. Felton knocks it loose. And Portland comes up with it. So it's Portland now. Let's go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Alvin Gentry.
And guys, he didn't want to minimize the importance of defense, but he did say that a good performance offensively is the main priority. If they get that, he said, they'll be able to put up with any shortcomings defensively. Let's see how it plays out, Kevin.
Wonderful stuff, Doris. Thanks. The early game plan, Clark, centered around their offense. It sounds like.
Yeah, and I think that's fine as long as they don't sacrifice anything from an effort standpoint at the defensive end.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the strategy, guys, because when you get off to a good start offensively, you feel good about yourselves. And generally, that energy carries over to the defensive end as well.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix. We're talking about the Suns' fall from contention, some of it age, but Steve, a number of tough breaks and maybe a few self-inflicted wounds along the way.
Well, Steve Nash is getting older, still was a very productive player a season ago. I think the biggest difference, though, for Phoenix was not having Amari Stoudemire, who left as a free agent for New York. So the talent base went down, and now Phoenix is faced with some question marks as they look to the future. They're going to have to make some changes eventually and kind of reload to get back to that championship-style level.
Here's Brown. He's got 5. Grant Hill on the wing. Matthews covering. Lets it go with the 3. And the ball goes out of play and able to keep it in.
I thought Shannon Brown made so much improvement last season, guys. He scored well, and he worked really hard to improve his weaknesses, which were his ball handling and his outside shooting, so he became much more of a complete player.
Crawford outside. Shot clock at 6. Oh, and he almost had a 4-point play right there. He'll go to the line with a chance for 3.
Steve, I agree with you in terms of Shannon Brown's improvement, how hard he worked on those weak areas, handling the ball better, working more on his shot. I mean, the physical gifts were always there. Strong, tremendously athletic. I give him a lot of credit for working to make the most of that natural ability that he has.
The first one falls.
And, you know, Jamal Crawford, you think about him in that first-round series against Orlando, guys. How good was he? I mean, he just lit them up. The smaller Magic backcourt had no answer for him.
And he sinks the second.
Well, going back to Crawford, guys, in that Orlando series, I thought he was the difference. Offensively, he shot 52% from beyond the three-point line. About 6 free throws per game. He put on a real show offensively. He was fantastic.
Guys, it's been 3 seasons in a row now. The Portland Trail Blazers have gotten bounced out of the first round of the playoffs, and that's got to get frustrating. I mean, for the Blazers this season, just making the playoffs isn't enough. I mean, they've got to go, and they want to go farther.
Dixon kicks to Matthews. Dudley gets a hand on it. Suns trail by 6. Guys, a potent offense right now.
Yeah, Kevin, really the offense is flowing quite nicely right now.
Playing with a lot of confidence, just some self-assurance. I like what we're seeing.
And Steve, in each series, they lost in 6 games.
Well, it just shows how strong the West has been over the last few years, Kevin. I mean, all 3 of those series, very competitive. Portland really was scrappy and competed and played hard. But they have had the injuries over the last few years, and the injuries have cost them. All that young talent, but from one game to the next, Portland not sure who's going to be on the court for them.
Back to Brown. Here's the mayor. Grant Hill on the wing. Defended by Batum. Fades. Gets the bucket. Here's Felton. 26 points for him last game against the Clippers. Picked up by Brown. Outside Matthews. Tipped. Goes up. Hickson with the bucket.
Right from the get-go, they've been shooting the ball extremely well.
Well, I think it's a matter of just continuing to knock down shots like that. They'll get the W here, no question about it.
Now here's Dudley. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Launches a 3. Batum grabs the miss.
They got that rebound, but this is not how they wanted to start the game in terms of hitting the glass.
Yeah, it's about time they actually got a rebound. It's time to get physical here in this game.
Here is Felton. They're leading by 8. 6 to shoot. Crawford outside. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. And here's the break. Backing down is Brown. Shoots it up. Sinks it from about 9 feet out. Brown's got 7 points in the game.
You know, he's not somebody they lean on for points, but when he does score, that's a bonus.
So timeout called here, the first for Portland.
Well, for the Blazers last season, guys, I mean, they went 48-34 overall. I mean, 2 fewer wins from the season prior, but this team has managed to remain competitive despite just a huge number of major injuries to key players. I mean, that's a credit to those players, but also to that coaching staff. Nate McMillan and his staff have done a fantastic job keeping that team really competitive.
Here's Felton. 8 points for him. Picked up by Brown. Crawford outside. And it's Phoenix with the rebound. Hill's got 4 rebounds in this game. Good thought there, Clark, when you take a look at the Blazers last year, the year before, really, with all those injuries. It's interesting. Pretty comparable overall. But their home versus road split deep. Steve, quite a bit.
Yeah, Kevin, just 18-23 on the road, a 6-game decrease from the season prior. So they have to figure out a way to get back to their winning ways away from home. We know they have one of the best home court advantages in the NBA, but you've got to win road games if you're going to be elite in this league.
Here's the mayor, and Crawford picks him up defensively. Dishes it to Dudley. Brown outside. Clock at 4. Jacks up a 3. A second chance effort. Morris. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
His second personal first team. At the line for the Suns, Marquise Morris. 2 shots.
A free throw good for Morris.
Well, the Suns only won 23 games against Western Conference opponents last year, and that's one of the reasons they really fell from contention in terms of their postseason hopes a year ago.
And the Suns making a change here. Gortat's checked in. Here's Nash. Coming in off a 21-point game his last outing. Well, you know, for the Suns, Clark, why do you think they struggled so much against the West?
Well, I think part of it was they weren't getting enough done inside, and in the West, that'll cost you. I mean, we've talked about it before, Kevin, how big the front lines are in the Western Conference in general. I mean, you look at a rebounding. 10 out of the top 15 rebounding teams last season were in the Western Conference. I mean, points in the paint, 11 of the top 15 were Western Conference teams. I mean, you've got to be able to handle your business inside in the West. If you don't, it's going to be hard to win.
Here are the 5 Portland has to start the second quarter. We've got LaMarcus Aldridge. Matthews out there with Nolan Smith. And there's Hickson. And it's Batum in at the 3, the small forward. Back to Nash. 3-pointer. Gets it to go. Nash has got 11.
Come on now. You got to pay better attention than that on a shooter like him. He'll make that 10 times out of 10.
Outside Matthews. He feeds it to Aldridge. Feeds it to Hickson. He passes to Matthews. Beyond the arc. And it's Phoenix with the rebound. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing the last matchup with the Lakers.
Just seemed like one of those nights, guys. They never could get it going offensively.
Yeah, they didn't have much going at that end of the floor, and even when they got something positive to happen with their defense, it didn't carry over to the other end. Well, that's a quality look there. The defense a bit late.
And 2 straight now from long range, putting up points in a hurry, Clark.
Smith outside. He kicks it to Aldridge. Backs him down. Lets it go. Gortat comes up with the rebound. Gortat's got 4 rebounds in this game. Now, here's Childress. Looking for his first bucket of the game. Nash, right side. Here's the mayor. Baseline J on the way. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. Nash has got 3 assists in the game. Here's Smith. His last outing, he had 8 points. Back to Aldridge. Guarded now by Morris. Smith dishes to Aldridge. The dish to Batum. Over Nash. Portland again missing.
Last year, Nate McMillan signed a 2-year extension to stay with the Blazers. Portland has had an unfortunate run of health with their players and thought about starting over with a new coach, it seemed. But I think the right move was made in keeping McMillan.
Now Smith defending. It's stolen by Hickson.
Great hands down low. Gets the takeaway.
Here's Batum, and they cash in right away with a quick shot. Batum's got his second basket. Well, Clark, more on McMillan. He's been a stable force for the franchise since he came over from Seattle. Steve, I think they need him in the worst way up in Portland right now to give him that stability.
Well, I agree, Kevin, because they've had all the injuries to the roster. They've also had front office upheaval. So in many ways, Nate McMillan represents the Blazers in that city, and he represents the stability that they need.
Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over.
You know, for the Suns last season at U.S. Airways Center, 23-18 was the record at home. Still above 500, but of course not the kind of mark they've been used to setting there in the past.
Grant Hill, he's checked in for Childress. And a switch here also for Portland. Raymond Felton, he's checked in for Smith. Here's Felton. He's got 8. Outside Matthews. Outside Felton. Hickson backing him down. Just 5 on the clock. Blocked.
You know, as tight as this game is, you have to like their chances the way they've been rebounding.
They have a pretty good margin in that department, so they've got to continue to hit the boards hard, and it'll pay off for them in the end.
Nash outside. And stolen by Aldridge. Portland leading, and this is their first time matched up with the Suns this season.
Well, last year it was a pretty predictable result when these two teams met.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. To get back to the point Steve made a moment ago, they handled them very well last year.
As they should have, Kevin. I mean, they would have been disappointed if it turned out any other way. You know, Raymond Felton the last 2 seasons has really improved his shooting nicely. I mean, both from the outside and finishing around the basket. He can penetrate, so that all helps.
Gortat, Hickson covering. The jump hook, no good. And the Trailblazers going now the other way. They've led by as much as 10. And for Felton at the same time, he improved his shooting. Stevie also upped his assist to a career high of over 8 a game.
The all-around improvement for Felton was really impressive. And, you know, he was the 5th overall pick back in 2005 by Charlotte. And I thought once he went to New York, he really started to pick up his game. And then the trade to Denver, of course. So he's become an accomplished point guard in this league.
Here's the mayor. Backing down is Gortat. Shoots over Hickson. In close, he hits it. Gortat's got his first basket. Here comes Wesley Matthews. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Clippers in Los Angeles. Now a timeout called by Portland.
You know, as we look at the Blazers, check them out. I mean, a small market team, tremendous fan support. They're the only game in town as far as a major sports team is concerned, and their ownership has not been shy or bashful about trying to spend and being willing to spend to make them a contender.
Here is Matthews. Drains it from beyond the arc. Matthews has got his second bucket of the night. Clark, as you said, going back to the Blazers, small market team, big city pocketbooks. And Steve, now also a pretty new front office. They're going to another general manager this year.
Yeah, and despite the change, Portland's front office continues to be innovative and aggressive.
And he flushes it through. Spike Slamcam with the replay.
Boy, that dunk got everybody up off their seat.
Oh, they're loving it, aren't they, Steve?
Well, how could they not? I mean, he put the cherry on top of the sundae on that one.
Yeah, right. Suns trail by 7. Here's the mayor. Morris with the ball. And here is Gortat. Gortat with a screen on Batum. 5 to shoot. For the 3. Hill, no good. Trailblazers leading by 7. Outside Matthews. Aldridge backing in. Guarded now by Morris. Shoots. Again, the Trailblazers good for 2.
Boy, he's been good offensively tonight. I really like what I've seen.
Nash the pass to Hill. The pass to Morris. Aldridge is there. Can they get it? And the shot is good.
Something they'd like to see more of him more often, that's for sure.
Now Hickson. 6 points for him. Felton kicks to Batum. To the inside. Outside Matthews. Here's the 3. But they recover it. Back to Batum. Stolen.
For the most part, they're doing a nice job of taking care of the ball, though.
Now the feed to Nash. Here's the mayor. Matthews covering. It's hauled in by Felton.
Well, with that much space off the pick, you've got to drop that in.
Yeah, you got to make that one. I mean, that's a high-quality shot you should make 9 out of 10 times.
Deflected. Here's Hickson. Nails it. Hickson's got 8.
And defensively, you've got to try to keep the ball on the perimeter.
Yeah, he's not going to miss those, not often anyway. The defense has to muscle up and deny him that position to have a chance.
Back to Nash. Here's the mayor. Now, here is Morris. Shoots it. Batum grabs the miss. Batum's got his 4th rebound in this one. Outside, Felton. Matthews, left side. Outside, Felton. Unloads. Phoenix grabs the miss. Hill's got 6 rebounds in the game. And following this game, they'll challenge the Grizzlies on the road at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. That's the first of 6 played on the road. Moving it around nicely. It's stolen by Hickson.
A miscue here, a botch play there, a mistake there. The result, 5 points they've allowed off turnovers this quarter.
Yeah, I don't see any focus out there. I mean, they've looked undisciplined. They're not taking care of the basketball, and it's really starting to hurt them.
Here's the mayor. The Blazers on offense. They're on a 16-7 run. Batum for 3. That's good, and so Felton has the assist there. Felton's got assist number 5 here tonight. Suns trail by 14. Here's the mayor. Nash outside. It's stolen by Hickson.
Well, he's showing off his defensive instincts by making plays just like that.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And now we'll look at the upcoming schedule for the Portland Trail Blazers. They're off to Denver after this game as they apply their skills at the Pepsi Center. And that'll be the last game of their very short 3-game road tour. And he makes the first.
Nicholas Batum was the 25th pick in the draft back in 2008 for Portland. And he's really developed into a nice player. He's got that great length, which helps him defensively. And he's also become an excellent shooter as well.
Here's what Portland's going with right now. Joel Prisbilla checked in for Hickson. Thomas comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Crawford in for Wesley Matthews. And so we wrap up the first half. 2K Sports, back in a moment here from the U.S. Airways Center.
36. The Trailblazers.
And welcome everyone to this early season edition of HP at the Half. Portland with a lead against the Suns out at U.S. Airways Center. They've been causing havoc defensively, ratcheting up the pressure, forcing steals. Raymond Felton has been clicking through the first 2. He's got 9 points and has been getting after it on defense as well. No let up on either end of the court. And the Suns going all out. They've had some uneven play to start the season, but are still working to add to that win column. Steve Nash, our top scorer. He's got 14 points, and as usual, he's been handing out a lot of assists. A couple guys right here you want to lead the charge for the teams as we move on to the second half. A lot in the NBA to catch up on. Let's check it out as we go around the league. Out at Staples Center, it was the Clippers losing to the Cavs. Not the performance that will make their coach happy. Their leading scorer was Chauncey Billups. And another game that also finished up over at American Airlines Arena. It was the Heat over the Wizards. Looked to be in complete control there. No problems in that one. Dwayne Wade led them in scoring. And a look here at the other action around the association. Out at Staples Center, the Lakers are ahead against New Orleans. They're in the fourth quarter, and they've got a double-digit edge at the moment. Thanks so much for joining me at halftime. We send you back out to Kevin and the gang.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. And it's the Suns' ball. So far in the fourth quarter, they've allowed just 6 points. Vermeer in at shooting guard. Brown out there with Josh Childress. Then it's Nash. And it's Hill in at the 5, roaming the paint. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Suns. Smith outside. Clock at 6. Fires the 3. Steve Nash with the rebound. Guys, a bunch of poor shooting right now from both teams.
Yeah, they're throwing up a bunch of bricks. I mean, nobody can put it in the hole right now.
I think both teams need to be a little more patient, guys, because I think everyone's forcing the action right now. No flow, no pace to this game.
Smith outside. Hill against Batum. Let's go. Lands off on the front of the rim and drops.
He's put on an offensive clinic. They've got to deny him the ball.
Yeah, and if that fails, then double him, Steve. I mean, they can't allow him to continue to hurt him like this.
Nash dishes to Hill. And it's Portland with the rebound.
Had a pretty good look at the basket, but defensively they did a nice job rotating, forcing the miss.
Smith left side. The 10-footer connects. The jumper drops.
Yeah, we're now starting to see them get some high percentage shots in the paint.
Yeah, that's 5 of their last 6 buckets inside the lane, so they're getting really high percentage looks down there.
On the wing, Brown. He's covered by Matthews. Pass to Nash. Lets it go from deep. And that one's good. Nash has got 5 points in the quarter.
A little slow on the defensive rotation there.
Trailblazers leading by 21. Williams passes to Smith. Guarded now by Nash. Matthews left side. No good. And Phoenix will take it the other way.
Now, normally that's a shot people make, but that's not really his bread and butter there.
Brown against Matthews. Brown kicks to Childress. Kicks it to Hill. Over Prisbilla, and it's Hill. That time the assist by Childress. Here's Smith. Defended by Nash. Here's Smith. Smith left side. Prisbilla, no good.
Strange trend here, guys. They're totally controlling the glass, but they still trail.
You get the feeling that one is going to correct. Either they'll lose their edge on the glass or catch up in points sooner or later. We'll see.
Well, he can squeeze himself into the box score every now and then.
Outside Williams. Smith with it. Outside Matthews. He dishes it to Batum. To halt the run. And the shot is good. Batum's got 10 points in just the second half.
He's starting to heat up from outside. That's his second this half.
Nash drawing the double team. Outside Hill. Here's the mayor. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Trailblazers leading by 20. Smith outside. Guarded now by Nash. He got right to the cup using that screen.
You know, you look at how this has played out so far, and they've really had a big advantage inside.
Well, they're getting higher percentage shots in the lane, and they're getting a bounce here or there, but I think they're playing pretty well down there.
From outside the arc, count the bucket. Here's Smith. 1:56 left in the fourth quarter. Smith right side. Passes it to Batum. 6 on the shot clock. Over Nash. A shot by Batum. No good. Suns trail by 19. Grant Hill on the wing. And Batum picks him up defensively. Nash outside. There's the three. Rebound by the Trailblazers. Batum's got 6 rebounds in the game. And here's Smith. Dishes it to Prisbilla. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a 3-point play.
You know, if their plan was to keep going inside a ton, it sure has paid off. I mean, it seems like every bucket they get is in the lane.
Well, no reason to take an outside shot if you're scoring at will from inside the paint.
Gortat's checked in for Phoenix. And so Portland takes this one, but by a big margin. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, Kevin Harlan saying see you next time.
Zero wins so far on this latest homestand has to be tough to swallow. How are you feeling about the team's performance lately and the inability to take games on your home court?
It's frustrating, man. Really frustrating. The fans deserve better than this. First and foremost, we got to take care of business here at home, you know? If we can't do that, we can't expect to do much of anything in this league. We've got some serious work to do to keep this from happening again.
So many times I should have taken back this moment. These words I spoke, I know it. Now I can see clearly. I folded, I shouldered too much weight. I hold it, too much pain, and it destroyed me, and then rebuilt me, and now it can feel me. It follows me everywhere I go, but it can never break me. Now I know I was lying to myself back then, but the truth was always out my pen. I fade back to myself in the end. I'm just one step away. I ascend, I climb that faded staircase, and I'm reaching in vain just to hold on to them once again. The memories seem to blend. My enemies and friends seem to vanish in the wind. What does it take to be one step closer to your dreams? Does it mean